All right, folks, this is it. The lead card, the final 9, greatest media team production of the Charlotte Roar. This is day 2 of our tee times, early November at Scrapyard, one of the most fun courses. We were talking about how fun it is in the front 9. The back 9 gets a little bit tougher. What are your thoughts on the back 9 before we start here, Alex?
Thanks for having me again. And the back 9, I would say this is the stretch where things always get interesting. You don't have a bunch of gettable holes. You have a bunch of bonus birdies, which, you know, somebody's going to be taking a birdie where someone's taking a bogey. So you're going to have that sort of fluctuation in scores coming up.
Those are the trophies that you're playing for. Shout out to Heirloom Woodworks. They're based out of North Carolina. They did an amazing job at those trophies. Let's see who gets it. This is really exciting. I mean, this is my first big tournament hosting as greatest media team and getting help by Beast Disc Golf and Andy Dialis. Great sponsors to have for this lead card. This is hole 10, only 327 feet. What are your thoughts on this one, Alex?
Yeah, this hole is mainly just off the tee. You know, you have this one tree that's slightly center left, and you just need to squeak by it. It's humongous. So as long as you can get a hyzer around it, something that's going to flip up, your dish should be able to sneak past the last few trees down there.
And I feel like it plays a little longer than it says, 327. Like that little uphill at the end just gets you.
Yeah, and he's throwing a star eagle.
A good pull for him. He's just dialed every time in the center. I feel like such a good player. They call him the disc golf coach, and that's why.
Here we go. We have Andy Wiler.
And he's going to be throwing his Founder's Tumbleweed. First time he's been throwing that today. What are you throwing here?
I'm throwing a buzz. Just giving it the slight hyzer, get it to flip up a little bit and miss that tree right there. Ooh.
And you did. I mean, for 337 that plays 350, you made that look very effortless. You have kind of a nice reach back that's a little exaggerated. You and I were talking about that. Here's Gage Stiles with a good pull here, kind of matching your style here as well. Oh my gosh, getting just the last tree.
Him and Andy both hit that tree right there. That's the one tree, once you pass the tee pad, once you pass the short tee pad, it just gets in the way. I almost hit it, and you see Gage and Steven both hitting it.
And Gage just not being able to get over there.
Here we go, we have Andy for birdie. Giving it a good run.
Oh my gosh, he's consistently.
You know,
on the hole.
first round with that disc, he was unconscious from that distance.
Really? At Angry Beaver? You were playing with him. Interesting.
Yep. Me and him were on the same card. We were kind of feeding off each other, just following each other around the course.
That's great to see. He's such a good competitor. He's MP40 division and averaging 990, 1,000 rated golf lately. Oh my gosh, what a terrible spit up for Steve there.
Wow.
That was a spit up.
Yes.
We talked about spit
the first
through
one hitting
versus
a little left,
little splash outs. That was a spit out.
Yeah, he hit center and his disc just cocked off to the left there, and it pushed through. Now, sometimes you can minimize that result by using softer putters. So they'll grab the chains a little bit more, slow the disc down. But
he putts with his Legacy Disc Gravity Hunter. So I don't know if those are harder plastic, but just if anybody wanted to know. We did not do a drone on hole 11 just because it was going to give people some seizures. It was just very strobe effect like. But here was a great pull by you. Very simple hole, just straight as heck. What are your thoughts on hole 11?
That's it. You want to throw something as straight as you can. If you fade a little bit, you have some trees down here on the green that you can get behind, kind of like what Steven did here. Most people will throw a mid-range. And you also look on the tee pad, you have that little bit of brickwork on the end. It's part of the tee pad so you can step on it, but it's a big mental play. So most people, like if you step on it, it'll throw you off.
It oddly gets people that are not used to it. They're like, do I step on it or not? Even if you're used to it, it's still strange.
You can see where everybody's not even stepping on it. They're just choosing the concrete. So it's a smart play on everyone's part to do that because it takes the thought process out. That was a great shot from Gage.
That really was. He really needs this birdie just to stay on pace with you. He is one back of your -9, which is unbelievable good shooting.
Now Steven just knocked down a 35-footer.
Yeah, that was that putter we were just talking about. The gravity hunter.
Yeah, he got it low enough to stay in there that time. He throws so fast, like his spin is so strong. Here we have Gage with a beautiful birdie. It's about 20 feet off.
Oh, good
caught the
catch.
very last one.
Yeah, that might have got away with one there, but that was a good birdie either way. He got up there. That's all you want on this hole. And what are you thinking here? You gotta get it?
Yeah, just my putter was on that day, so as long as I stay focused, I should make it.
And you said you've been recently practice putting more. What does that look like?
So practice putting for me, I do 10 makes on each corner of the basket. You know, like I said, it took me 19 years to practice putt. And once I started winning. But first, hole 12, 275 foot, par 3. You have a Mando on the right off the tee pad. You want to get to the left of it. Send a backhand or a sidearm right as hard as you can. And the slope going up at the end also can make your disc roll. So the angle control is very necessary on this shot.
I love your angle control on this one. What are you throwing there?
I'm throwing a judge. I came out a little bit late, but I got through all the little trees down there.
Yeah, you're gonna have a look there.
And we got Steven throwing the Thunderbird, it looks like.
Yeah, going back to his trusty. Oh, that's actually his Firebird.
Oh, his Firebird.
But either way, he loves his blue discs. And here's Andy with his Copperhead. Nice flippy disc. You get some nice height on that.
Yeah.
It's going to fade a little bit on him.
He's going to be right. He's going to be around 40, 42 feet on the hill.
He should be fine, though. And here's Gage. He's going to try to rip one here.
He's throwing a putter. But he hits.
I've never seen anybody down on this left side, so
Yeah,
I think he was just trying to make sure he got up there. You're one stroke ahead of him, so he probably felt the pressure. This is the first time he probably felt pressure on that tee shot there to make sure he gets a birdie. And now, I mean, he kind of threw it to circle 2 on the right side, and he's playing a little bit of army golf, just going left, right here. But he's up there.
Andy Wiler for birdie.
Yeah, let's see if he can knock one down. He's been making a couple of these already. That must have been.
The balance was a little off on that one.
It must have been more uphill than the camera showed for sure. Oh, what
Steven's finding the mark.
He only splashed out just by half of an inch, but that was center pole. It didn't let him phase him. Let's just say that.
That's a really good spot for the sidearm to finish on this hole because it's so hard to keep it inside enough just to get the right turn.
So this hole averaged 2.91, almost a 3, so you're not going to get mad if you don't get it. You got really up there.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I didn't know yours carried that far with a judge, so great pull there.
Thank you. Yeah, I use the putter on this one. If you throw a putter high enough on Annie, it will get the distance. It's just missing those late small trees on the right.
No, you don't want to see that.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah, and I didn't realize it was that bad. That seemed like it was a good putt.
Yeah, just hit top a little bit, pushed it off left.
Yeah, so we didn't want to give folks the strobe effect on this one either. So the drone, we're going backwards, but it kind of gives you a little bit of a lay of the land here that you have to kind of hyzer.
Yeah, it doesn't show the elevation change too much, but it's flat and then it goes downhill severely.
It does. It's probably one of the more severely downhill shots. And
bonus birdie
here?
All day.
Oh my gosh, if you get this one, you're feeling great.
I was really happy about this shot. Even though I went straight and hit a tree, I was like, I hit the gap.
Yeah, and you have a commanding lead now. I just saw that swing. So when Gage got that double, you got a birdie. That's a 3-stroke swing, and now you're up by 4 strokes. Did you feel that? Did you know that you were up by 4 strokes at that point? No. You didn't even look at scores or anything?
I have not checked scores at this point.
Look at you.
I checked scores the first round and it did me dirty. So this round I was really, until hole 16, I didn't check scores.
Wow. All right. Well, it's working out for you. And Gage is going a little low here, but he gets a nice release fade at the end there.
He really wants that one though, since he saw me finish short.
Yeah, now he's 4 strokes back. He had such a lead going into this. You have all the momentum, sir, at this moment. And at this point, you're probably not going to play too aggressive here. Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah. I don't usually lay up, so I think that was the moment where I realized I kind of had, a little bit of a lead. So I felt comfortable enough to do it.
Makes sense. So let's go back to your putting routine. You said you could kind of pick corners, 30-foot corners.
Yeah, so I do. I've just recently started doing this. I go to an open practice basket on any random course with wind, and I'll do from each corner trying to make 10. And after I make 10, I go and play or I leave. And it's not too much, it's not too little, it's just enough.
Wow, I really like it. Let's see if Steve can knock this putt down. He's been pretty consistent. Oh,
wow. Dude, that's like a 50-foot uphill putt.
That was such a good save for par. I mean, for bogey, either way. I mean, he could have had a double bogey, and he's staying in the mix because he still has the momentum. I mean, he hasn't really fallen off. He had one couple bad splash outs here and there, but other than that, his putting has been phenomenal.
I agree. I'd say that spit out was just kind of dirty.
It really was. And this is hole 13, so it averaged 3.09. Is this one of the hardest holes on the course?
I would say this is one of the hardest holes. We're coming up on 2 of the hardest holes on the course just because the gaps are so tiny. But these 3 holes in general, with the new longs they implemented, it makes them much more difficult.
It makes it more fun for the pros, though.
Right. Here we have that 325 par 3 on hole 14. Your initial gap's about 4 to 5 feet wide. Once you get here, it slopes down, and then you miss these few trees in the center. You want to go around them on the right. If you go inside, you can still push, but outside's the best route.
I feel like if you hit the gap and you just take something a little stable, it's going to get down there.
Right.
It's because it's so downhill. So what are you taking here?
I'm throwing a Rock X3, which is the stability you're talking about, and just throwing it flat.
Oh my gosh, you pinned it, dude. Nice bullseye shot there. And another potential birdie for you easily there. Tap in. And Andy Wilder, he's going to be pulling his...
The Nimitz.
Nimitz. I never heard of these names, but I'm glad that he gave us a list so I can at least shout you out.
Yeah.
Being sponsored by them, Lone Star Discs. And here's Gage. He has to get down there if he wants to continue playing alongside with you guys. Oh, he just gets a bad pull. He's just not getting that same release. I feel like the last 2 shots were pretty low. He's not giving it the same height anymore.
You can tell the timing's off just slightly.
And it might be because he's just frustrated, because he knows he had that lead.
And Steven had a really good shot here. I think he nicked one of the center trees that you're trying to miss and pushed him off right.
And that was his T-bird. So Gage in another strange spot.
Doing the forehand flex, which is a good play right here because once you get above those little trees, it's really open for the flex play.
He just couldn't get enough distance. That was just too far. And that was a good up by Steven.
Okay, so no, he hit the tree and he fell straight down. He didn't go anywhere.
And that was his Berg X. Wow. That was a good shot.
I love the Berg, man.
And here's,
everybody
when in doubt, Annie out, right? That's your play. So that's what Gage is doing here.
Look at it.
That was a good upshot for him, saving his most likely his bogey.
Andy for birdie.
My goodness, this guy, he just doesn't go away. Love it, Andy. The Nimitz worked out for you, representing Lone Star, and this averaged 2.91. So I'm going to guess around 9 birdies, 10 birdies, something like that. We'll see the stat in just a second here. 14. Wow.
14 on 14.
Wow. That's a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, that's a lot more than I thought too. That initial gap is so much smaller than y'all think.
You're not going to get 14 birdies on this one, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised, but go ahead, break this one
gap
down.
is just as tight, but it's further off from the tee pad. You have 315 feet. The old basket used to be right here, but they moved it back into the right, giving you that little ledge. Throwing a straight shot is really good here. That's kind of what I'm going for, just sending it up the fairway.
Is that your judge again?
That's my judge. Yeah. She really went far on me.
Yeah, good tree, but either way, you had the angle. I feel like you're just trying to get through down there. Andy is going to be taking his armadillo first time today, and he gets up there, folks.
That's a perfect flight.
That's what you want with like your Comet or something like that.
The flick plays also is a very good play on this one if you do the flip up play, which is what Steven's going for.
Mm-hmm. With his reactor again. And Gage Stiles, I mean, he needs to nail this shot. Oh, he does. Okay, so he looks like a very strong sidearm player. Mm-hmm. Almost more clean than his backhand that we saw in the last 2 shots.
Yeah. I think he's got both of them pretty well dialed in. But the forehand, it's always going to be a little bit more consistent because you're always looking at the target.
The basket, that's right. Pro tip there. And that was a great ace run by Gage. Let's
say about
that.
3 or 4 feet short on the flare.
Gosh.
I didn't even notice it was that far, that close from the tee pad whenever we were watching it.
That's why we have to add catch cam on some of these because you can really see how close and how good these clean shots are. Andy for 2, sneaks
what a
it in there. Wow, with this Founders Benny, folks, that was on left-hand pocket. Let's see the side cam view. Yeah.
Hey, no pictures on the scorecard.
That was a good putt. I like it. He scoops it up there. You know, he gives it a height.
Yeah. It's that purple putter.
And he hasn't missed that many if you think about it. He really missed like 1 or 2. What are you thinking here? Did you think you had it?
I really wanted that one. It just came out a little early.
Yeah.
Engage for birdie.
But you have a commanding lead. Again, you're up 4 strokes on these guys.
But I haven't checked the score yet. So in my mind, I'm like, I want this. I need this still.
Okay. So no one's told you, no one's even given you any indication that you're absolutely shredding at this moment. Because these were the only contenders, by the way.
Right.
There's nobody else on Chase card really that was, doing that well here. And you're going to be tapping in your par. Steven Jacobs unfortunately misses his par opportunity. So he's going to be taking a bogey here. One of the rare missed putts that we see, but he's going to be tapping this in. And I shout out to Steven for wearing the Beast hat earlier. That's awesome support there.
Here we go. Hole 16, 302 foot par 3. It's a straight tunnel gap finishing left at the end. You want to push an overstable disc around 250 feet, then start getting it to go left. If you go any later, you'll push it deep. Any earlier, you'll hit trees.
I like this hole because it's sort of almost a must get for me. I don't know about you.
Definitely. Okay, especially down on the wire like this. You want to just get something close. Yeah. Like within 40 feet is perfectly fine at this moment.
That was a lariat. That's getting some glide and some stability at the end, just like you said.
It almost reminds me of the Rock X3 a little bit. Just that glide, hard finish. It looks like he's throwing a fairway. He wants it to go straight.
I went a little too straight, unfortunately, on him. He's going to have a long circle 2 look. I like this catch cam angle from Dan here. And you.
That's my Firebird.
You were inside. Was it a little too stable?
Yep.
Be honest.
Yeah, I threw the wrong disc on that one. Probably should have thrown my Rock X3. Chose my Firebird instead.
So the guy who's invincible still makes mistakes. All right.
Steven, on the other hand, slicing and dicing, getting the flare.
Yeah, he really makes 0 mistakes.
Is that the reactor again, or?
I'd have to double check here. That was his start. Alien.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that was a mid-range?
Yeah. Good layup.
Yeah. You don't need to. I mean, you're probably, again, this is where you check scores maybe, or?
Yep, I checked scores right before
so that's why you laid them. Just joking.
What a bid.
Oh my gosh.
Just a little low. No wobble out the hand.
The difference between first, second, and third, let's talk about that right now. You're playing for $1,400. You kind of have a lead here. Second and third is playing for $900.
Right.
Third is playing for $800, $700.
And they're all within a stroke of each other.
It's a lot of money. So that was a very meaningful putt for Steve. That was a good birdie. Him and Andy are sort of battling for second at the moment.
And Gage needed that putt to catch up to Andy.
It's just a cool finale, in my opinion. I really like the sort of birdie must-gets for the second round, but we might switch it up to have Angry Beaver be that second round and Scrapyard be the first round going forward with a tournament. Leave a comment on what you think about that. I think it could set the stage for a better ending, but I like this ending here too. And not a lot of birdies on that one. I'm surprised. Why? At the end of the day, too many hyzers or too many forehands?
I'm not sure, but this hole right here can get you if you do not throw a very good first tee shot. So it's 553 feet, par 4. The first tee shot, you want it to land somewhere around this spot. And then you have a very hard right turn, sending your shot another 350 feet. Forehand is a popular option off the tee, sending a flex with a really overstable disc, or a short putter backhand, just getting it to the corner. I like to do the aforementioned one, but as you can see on this green, you still have some guardian trees. You pick your line and just try to fight through them.
A very tough hole, almost finish on, and let's see what Steve does here. He's going to be taking his Nate Sexton Firebird and putting it on a flex. That is the preferred line. I think that's the only way you're going to get a birdie chance on this. Other backhanders are going to struggle. They're going to probably prefer just to get their par and move on.
That
What a
thumber.
That really worked out. That was his Chupacabra, and he got way up there. So I'm going to have to take that note for next time. Gage getting the most unfortunate kick to the right.
I'm throwing a halo ball. It's very stable.
And you're kind of following Steve's line, but a lot more stable, you can tell.
Yeah.
And you're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah,
right?
I went a little deep of the fairway, but that's honestly fine
Yeah.
because there's not a lot of stuff down there.
So Gage is not going to be taking your typical route in terms of going on the left side. He's going to try to cut the fairway because that's really the only way he's going to be able to save par, he believes.
He's just fighting through the woods on that
He got probably 200 feet. He's still got like 280 feet, 300 to go on the right-hand side up there.
That side's bad if you get in there. Andy with his second shot.
Yeah, that was a very good shot with his harpoon, getting all the way around that bend. That was a flexy disc. I like that.
It looks like he landed right where the guardian trees were, so he should have slid like near circle's edge.
Taking his T-Bird 3, Steven Jacobs. Look at this shot.
Beautiful.
What? So he landed in a perfect spot.
And then he hit that little hill right on the tip.
You don't get that tap. Oh, you don't get that tap in Scrapyard.
Oh, look at the roll. What?
Right to the pin.
Yeah.
You might as well hit the pin, you know? That was a great shot there. One of the few birdies you're going to see on this hole. This averaged 4.12. A very difficult hole for people.
Yeah, I hit the last guardian.
Oh, you still got a putt, though. So, Gage.
It's hard, man. Once you get back there, it's hard.
You just try to create things, and you really can't do too much.
There's nothing else you can do, though. I mean, there's no way to get back to the fairway that makes sense. So
I don't know if they should have a Mando, but leave a comment if you think they should.
Honestly, no, because there's so many times you want to just try to throw something through there and it'll get lucky.
Mm-hmm. Maybe in the winter and fall, but in the summer, it's thick. And actually, this is the moment that was his fifth throw. Or maybe I believe even his sixth throw. But he was in a hornet's nest, so we gave him casual relief. I mean, this was early November. Why would there be hornets out there? That's insane. Oh my gosh, what a bid. You still went for it. I like that. And here's Andy for his birdie.
Beautiful putt.
He got all the way up there with his harpoon and his Chupacabra.
With a thumber off the first shot. Like I said, he's a golfer.
He really
puts
is.
it into the spot that he wants.
He's inspired me to do some stuff as a master player, especially that thumber on 17. I never even thought of that.
It has like the perfect shape if you think about it. Opens the fairway up.
So you're going to get a par. Steve Jacobs is going to get a birdie. Andy's going to get a birdie. And I believe Gage is going to be taking a double here. He just moved 2 strokes down. Again, very meaningful, though, between 5th, 6th, and 7th. So he's going to try to finish strong on hole 18 here just to get into that $500, $400 club.
Yeah, and it's 327 foot par 3. Most people are going to be doing a forehand off the tee or a turnover backhand with a mid-range. There's a little bit of an incline going up to the basket, so you will see a lot of flares almost going in.
I love this finishing hole.
Me too.
It could be a little longer, but I think it's a good hole to finish on. With
He
the
hits
tunnel
a
shot.
very good shot, a little inside.
Where are you going?
I think he hits something and gets a little roll.
Yeah, it's favorable for backhands or forehands, so that's why I also like it. And here is Andy. He's going to be throwing his tumbleweed. Once again, he threw that on hole 10. He kind of just glides straight. He gets some strange reaction with a kick to the left, too.
Here I'm throwing my Firebird again.
That trusty green Firebird. And you're just thinking, just get up there, tap out, take the dang home. Any nerves?
Not necessarily on the tee shot, but Definitely a lot less nerves than the last time I was in this position. We at the Queen City Gambit, I was ahead of Grady's shoe by 1 stroke. He threw in from 100 feet with a bird, and I rolled away on my birdie putt. Took a bogey, so he ended up winning.
Wow.
So
here at this course?
Yep.
It's a little revenge.
A little bit of revenge on it. But yeah, that moment actually helped me a lot.
All right, well, let's see if Gage can finish strong. He's been struggling a little bit on the back nine, but yeah, that looked like the old Gage that we saw.
What did that finish him at?
-6, and I believe he finished 6th or 5th. We're gonna find out.
Because I know Josh DiBattista had a great last round, and he jumped up a few spots.
Shout out to Josh DiBattista and our buddy Jake Russell. He actually had a 1,000 rated round as well.
Nice.
And he jumped up as well. So
that's a revenge.
Yeah.
Laying up.
And here you go, laying up, but that's all right. It's a smart play. You had plenty of strokes. I mean, Andy was coming in 2nd, and he was 3 strokes behind you, so you had some breathing room. Woo! Almost the whole back nine, which must feel good.
Felt good. It's my 2nd ever B-tier win.
And check out these trophies.
Alex.
I didn't know how to pronounce your last name, so that's why I said Alex. I apologize.
I'd like to thank my sponsors, Team Boom Boom, Team Chain Reactions, and Team Focus.
Awesome shout outs there. I'm so happy you won, man. You were a great competitor. You played strong both rounds, and you seemed to have a bunch of course knowledge, so you knew exactly what to do for those 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these courses are, just the courses I grew up playing. It was a lot of fun meeting Ravis throughout this experience. Great to have him down in the Charlotte area. Sorry, Maine, he's ours. But yeah, it was a great tournament. Thanks for coming down here and hosting it, and see you guys next year, because he's coming back.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to have a huge one next year. We're going to put it in the disc golf scene probably in the next few weeks. We'll have these videos attached and encourage people to sign up early. Here are your final standings. You, -12, Andrew, -9, Josh DiBattista, -8, coming in through hot like you were talking about, and then Steven Jacobs tying that, pulling in a 3rd. Podium finish for Steven Jacobs and Andrew Wiler. That's awesome to see for that final card. And again, congratulations. Hopefully you didn't spend all that money yet. And if you did, I'm happy you were able to do it with Greatest Media Team supporting this, as well as Beast Disc Golf and Andy Didalis. Stay tuned for next year. Subscribe today. Thanks again for watching, everyone.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Beast Disc Golf is your one-stop shop for premium quality athletic gear for the sport we all love. We offer designer athletic gear for men, women, and children. That way you can look great on and off the course. Get 10% off your order when using code HYPE on our website. Once again, use code HYPE to save 10% on your entire order. Want to add some hype back into your game? Visit us at beastdiscgolf.com today